All right, welcome back to another episode of the Chicks Tape podcast. Last time I said Vendetta Sports Media content. No. So Chicks Tape podcast for Vendetta Sports Media. We are a basketball podcast. Do not be fooled by my Raiders jersey. We just finished our fantasy draft, in which I will win. But yeah, I'm your host, Alex Chick, and I got my co-host here, Garrett Burrows.
Here.
How you doing, Garrett?
Dude, I'm lovely, man. It's been a rough couple of weeks for your boy, but we're doing all right.
Well, let's first go ahead and just start off that you can see a little erase mark on Garrett's board. It used to be Nuggets in 5, and now it's Nuggets in 7.
Listen, I had to update the board for the second round of the playoffs. That's what it is. And even then, you can see on the board, I'm a little hesitant. I'm like, 7?
7, maybe.
We'll get into that a little bit later, but yeah, I'll take my L.
Yeah.
And I'll take my L and say it was a tougher series than I thought, but we'll get into that later.
Well, yeah, let's do the Eastern Conference first. Let's get the Eastern Conference. I was thoroughly surprised to see the Magic win Game 1 against the Bucks. Holy shit! I was like, well, but that just kind of goes in, and we did a podcast episode earlier, and I said I was wholeheartedly like, these Bucks are not making the finals. And so,
and kind of look at them now.
I mean, I'm trying to say. So I'll get more into that when we talk about the second round with their series with the Miami Heat. But I was surprised the Magic won a game. But after that, it was like, you guys aren't shit. You just had it was kind of a fluke. Who's second seed? Raptors. Raptors played the Nets. Was that a sweep?
And that was a sweep, wasn't it?
I think it was a sweep.
Look at us prepared.
The Nets I know, right? We just kind of like, let's just do it. Let's just roll into but no, the only thing that I like about the Nets is LeVert, man. LeVert's he's a hooper. Holy shit.
True.
That guy can hoop. So, you know what? I don't think the Nets really need a third guy. Like, you know how most championship teams have that third star?
Yeah.
I don't think they need one. I think LeVert's the guy. And then they have a deep enough bench to where –
well, I don't see a need for Brooklyn to go out in the offseason and get somebody anyway because we don't know how Kyrie and KD are going to play together.
I think they'll be fine.
No. I'm saying I think they'll be fine too, but we don't know what this team at full strength is going to be like. So there's no sense in making additions to a team when we don't know what they play like at full strength.
I will say the Steve Nash head coach signing.
It's intriguing.
I was blown away because I was like, well,
way out of left field. For sure out of left field. It's intriguing. It's intriguing. There's a good trend. There's a good trend of first-time head coaches, former point guards. Steve Kerr's doing all right. Mark Jackson's doing pretty good. Isaiah Thomas, Jason Kidd,
He was okay.
I think he was in a rough situation.
Just threw me for a loop, man. That shit was because Giannis wasn't that good either. Giannis was still, trying to.
He was still coming into his own.
Yeah, but no, that shit threw me. And so I don't know how to feel about it. I think Steve Nash is one of the best point guards. I won't say ever. I won't say top 5 point guard because I don't know. But he is one of top 10 for sure. I think
he's easily a top 10.
Yeah, top 10 best point guards in the league. So I know he's got the smarts for it. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. But you know what? He kind of looked ugly too. That guy, he's got a weird face. You ever notice that?
Did you see that he was trying to recruit Dirk Nowitzki?
I did.
To be on his coaching staff. I was like, dude, that'd be interesting. I'd be intrigued.
I'd really enjoy that though. Oh my god, that would be awesome. So it's fucking weird, man, because these are the guys that we grew up with, right? And not saying we're old.
Now they're retired. Now they're retired into coaching.
I'm 24. You'll be a quarter of a century in a couple months.
Will you shut up? God.
But these are guys that we grew up with, so seeing them coaching and stuff, I'm still trying to figure. I keep forgetting Tim Duncan coaches. He's an assistant coach on the Spurs still, so it's shit's wild, man. But yeah, I think the Nets are going to be really interesting this year. I think they're championship contenders already, and I don't think that should come as a surprise for anyone.
Especially if they're not championship contenders this year, like this upcoming season, they will be in 2 years when Giannis leaves.
We'll get into the Giannis sweepstakes here in a second. I actually like that. We'll get into the Giannis sweepstakes. Holy shit!
Grand prize.
Grand prize.
Giannis Kumbo.
That's why I just say Giannis. I don't even try.
Or Greek Freak.
Greek Freak. I don't even try to.
You're so bad with last names. It's awful.
I can't. I really can't. So we got Yeah, the Raptors handled the Nets pretty easily. Celtics took out Philly pretty easily, which that was not. We said 5 games, right? I think we said Celtics
5
and
or
Philly.
6, yeah.
Yeah. So
but I was kind of surprised at how bad Philly played, especially early in that series.
Well, I mean, they didn't have Ben Simmons, so. Hey. Hey man, I'm just saying, I know you're the big Ben Simmons hater, but the Philly needs him. So I don't know, but that was pretty. I was surprised the Pacers got swept. I was.
Yeah, me too. You knew both.
I thought the Pacers injuries and all could take one, but
and you know what's wild too is Miami's going to be 8-0 in the playoffs.
I mean, it's
That's
looking
nuts,
bro. Hold on. Let's finish the first. Well, did the Pacers hire anyone as a head coach yet, or they're still
I haven't seen anything now. I think because they made a mistake firing Nate McMillan. God bless. Nate McMillan needs a job somewhere.
Guy had just injuries after injuries every year. So
Nate McMillan should be the head coach in Philly. You ever get fired and get a better job somehow?
I don't know. I mean,
that'd be nuts.
Yeah, but that would just be good, right?
Well, because I mean, once they make the moves, because they got rid of Brett Brown, and Elton Brand needs to leave as well because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. They're going to trade one of the 2 stars. They're going to trade one of the stars, get a good haul back, maybe get some picks, and the team's intriguing again.
I don't know, man. They did the right thing. Philly did the right thing in firing Brett Brown, but Elton Brand, and I kind of knew, like, okay, you get a new coach, team's still awful, then you fire the GM. I knew it's that kind of thing. You kind of felt like
Brand will probably get 1 more year, if I had to guess.
And I think
this is going to be like a make it. Like Philly probably needs to make a conference final next year, or Brand's out of there.
Yeah, no, and it's not going to happen. I don't think it will happen.
No, it's not.
But yeah, I can't believe he got fired, but I don't know who's going to be in the Pacers now. So, I mean, whoever gets that head coaching job is going to have they're going to inherit a pretty good team.
They're going to inherit a good team with a bright future.
And I was big on that Pacers team. I thought they were underrated for sure. Just injuries, man. Injuries will kill you. So Obi, what are you doing, bud?
Okay, hello.
You look ugly as hell right now, but it's okay though. I love you though. Shit, that was it, right?
Yeah.
No, all right. Let's go to the West real quick, and then we'll go to the second. We'll go to the second round of the Eastern Conference. Let's do 1-8. Well, if you thought the Blazers were gonna win, they didn't. I mean, me and Garrett both said we said Lakers in 6. They won in 5. They could have won in 6. I felt like the Blazers, they had game 3 they should have won. But Terry Stotts, I don't know what the fuck he was doing. Like, Jusuf Nurkic was so gassed in that game. I don't know why he played
That's
him.
Another guy who's going to be in the hot seat going into next year is Terry Stotts. And you want to talk about a premier coaching spot. If they fire Terry Stotts, even if they fire him this year, I don't think they will. But if they underperform and they fire him next year, that's an intriguing team. Even if they move off of some of their pieces, they still got Damian Lillard.
Yeah. So
who's a baller.
I'm actually surprised the Lakers. I mean, I knew LeBron and Anthony Davis would play well, but I'm kind of surprised some of the supporting cast has stepped up. I feel like for the Lakers a little bit, which is vital.
Because LeBron probably went into the locker room and said, "Hey, if y'all don't step up this postseason, you're out of here in LA."
Yeah,
I'm the GM.
They're all on 1-year contract except for Danny Green. All of them. Yeah, dead ass. They're all So I mean, it was like
listen, if you don't play well, we're not signing you another one next year. You're gone.
Yeah,
playing overseas somewhere.
Yeah, man. So that was wild. So I didn't think the Blazers were gonna win. I was hoping for it, but I called 6 because I think there was gonna be 2 games they popped off. And like I said, they should have won game 3, but Nurkic was he was gassed and he should not have been in the game. I think he played the last 9 minutes, and you could tell he was gassed.
He was struggling, dude.
Bro, Hassan Whiteside actually played very well, and I'm surprised they didn't put him in more. They just, I don't know if it's his attitude or whatever. They just refused to play him. So, and he was not that he was giving Anthony Davis fits, but he played better defense than I thought he was going to. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that one ended in 5. Not that big of a surprise everyone that's saying the Lakers were underdogs, shut the fuck up. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, holy shit.
They have 2 of the top 8 players in the world, and you calling them underdogs.
Yeah, so I'm just like, you know what? Just shut the hell up. You don't know hoops. But next round, we got the next seeding. So we have Clippers and Mavericks. Now, we both said Clippers in 6. I mean, that Mavericks offense, bro, I'm telling you. And, leave it. People were freaking out because the Mavericks won. Now, I will tell you, though, and this is going to be a little bit of a hot take, but KP doesn't get ejected. I think it was in game 1. KP doesn't get injured in game 3.
Yep. Dallas wins that series.
I think they win that series. I can't cap right now. But
I can see it. I can really see it.
That shows you how good KP is and how good Luka is, and they're so fucking young. And you know what? Like, I'm not the biggest Tim Hardaway guy. He's okay. I think he's a good 4th guy, but they need that 3rd guy. To get that 3rd guy, I think, fuck, man. The sky's the limit for fucking the Mavericks. Their offense is so good, their defense didn't need to be a factor. So
Luka could fuck around and win MVP next year.
Dead ass. I'm with you. I think he could.
Like, if I was a betting man, which we've proven on this podcast that I am, I would put money on Luka's line to win MVP next year.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. He played hella good, man. That fucking step back on the Black Lives Matter. Oh, that was beautiful. I mean, he's a hell of a player.
Did it for the culture.
For the culture, man. So watch out for those Mavericks for the upcoming years. They're a dynasty. It's a dynasty waiting to happen. Next one. Ooh, the Nuggets and the Jazz. I'm not gonna lie, Garrett. I was nervous for you, man, because I was like, this 3-1. I was like, this is bad.
So
Stephen A. Smith, this is bad. This is really, really bad.
So Denver loses game 1, right? And I'm like, okay, understandable. Expected to drop 1. I texted you right afterwards, like, listen, I said 5. They were down to drop 1 anyway. So they're just gonna rattle off 4 straight. Pick up game 2. I was like, sick. All right, 1-1, not a big deal. 2, loss. 3, loss. And I'm like, oh shit, that kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. And I'm just like, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. And give 95% of the credit to the Jazz.
Yeah.
95% of the credit goes to the Utah Jazz. And
No. 70. No. How much percent?
I was giving them 95% credit.
95%. 95% credit to Donovan Mitchell. Holy shit. He willed that team.
I thought about putting this out there, but I didn't want it to come off as like a bias thing. I really do believe in my heart of hearts that this first round matchup was one of the greatest playoff series in NBA history.
I think
genuinely, because you have you have the face of the franchise versus a budding superstar, and they're just fucking trading, bro. 50-50. 40-42, 38-50. Like, these guys are like you saw at the end of Game 7.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell collapsed. Jamal Murray in the locker room was so gassed he had to squat down and take a seat. Like, it's just like these guys literally left it all out on the court.
I want to tweak your statement. I don't want to say it's the best playoff series of all time. I want to say it's the best one-on-one playoff series of all time. Just because, when I think of playoff series, I'm thinking teams. But it was evident in that series. It was Donovan Mitchell versus Jamal Murray. I was rooting for Game 7. Just have them play one-on-one against each other the whole game. That's
play to 21.
Just play to 21. Whoever wins, right? Call your own fouls.
I think that it was definitely one of the best first-round matchups ever.
Yeah,
100%.
I think so. That's fair.
But I don't know, man. That bias aside, both teams showed massive strengths and massive weaknesses.
Well, I thought the Jazz were done, and I've said that before. I thought they were done after they lost Bojan or whatever. I thought they were done. I was like, there's no way.
And that's what I'm saying. Kudos to the Jazz and Quinn Snyder to get that team fired up for going against a team that's a lot of a lot of fans around the league just had them dismissed. Said, "Hey, Jazz aren't winning the series. Not a problem at all."
Well, which they didn't, but like they give you a lot more trouble than everyone expected.
Listen, a series win is a series win, and I'll take it.
I'll take it. Hey, but
that's all that matters.
Big fan of Quinn Snyder, man. Big fan of Quinn Snyder. I think he's one of the best coaches in the NBA. I think top 10 best coach in the NBA.
And Donovan Mitchell, the bad man.
He's a hooper, man.
Donovan Mitchell reminds me a little bit of Dwayne Wade.
I can give you that. I can see it.
Donovan Mitchell needs to he has that killer instinct 100% like Wade did. And I think if he steps up his defense a little bit, all NBA guy, 100%.
Yeah. I feel that.
Is he going to win a title in Utah?
Probably not.
He might have to go somewhere else, but he reminds me of Damian Lillard, where, this team took a chance on me. Portland drafted him, and he's a local guy, and then Utah traded for him from, I don't want to talk about who. But I feel like he's loyal for Utah for being like, you know what, you guys took a chance, y'all traded for me, I'm going to repay the favor.
It's a lot of the small market guys, yeah.
Small market teams that don't attract free agents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he's not going to win a title there.
I can't see
Same thing with Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard's probably not going to win a title if he stays in Portland, which is a shame.
Yeah.
And he's going to go down as one of the best players to never win a title. But what can you do?
What can you do? I mean, it's not another one of my favorite matchups first round. The Western Conference had all the good matchups. I don't know what it was. It was just like
you had Western Conference has superior basketball.
Oh yeah, I mean you had LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and then Dame Lillard, Dame Lillard, and then you had Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Pandemic P, and Luka Don. I'm not gonna Luka. Just Luka.
Don,
then,
like the Don.
That Don.
Chich. Don Chich.
Okay, and then you had Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell, and then you have the Thunder. Even though Russell Westbrook only played half the series, you had James Harden, and then the Thunder with Chris Paul, obviously pissed off that the Rockets traded him. I mean, it was that first round series was fun to watch, man. It was fun to watch. I thought the Thunder would be better. I picked Thunder in 7. I can't remember what you picked.
I also picked Thunder in 7.
I picked Thunder. We knew it was going to 7. I feel like it was definitely.
That was apparent.
Yeah.
It felt like.
I definitely thought there was a game that the Thunder could have stole from the Rockets, but they didn't. So it's whatever. But I don't think they win that series without Russell Westbrook. I don't think the Rockets win. Because Game 7, James Harden, yes, he made that game-saving block, but he played horrendous. And Russell Westbrook, if he can be efficient, then you know what, he helps his team. So I mean,
bro, Russell Westbrook hit that 3 over Anthony Davis late in the fourth to go up like 18 or 16 or something, and the Lakers called timeout, and he was yelling into the abyss of nothing.
No. It's the baby mamas. There's a whole bunch of moms in there, and then they're
with
babies.
The kids.
And he's
yelling at all the moms. What the fuck you talking about? They ain't saying nothing.
Bro.
Half them moms probably breastfeeding right now. Leave them alone.
I love that energy though. I love that shit. You know how fucking pumped you have to be to fucking yell at moms and their babies. And everyone else is just there's no one else in there.
He hit the 3 and started going back court and was yelling, and I'm like, who are we yelling at?
Let's go ahead and talk about the Lakers and the Rockets so far. I don't know, man. I've been against the small ball movement. I'm not against the small ball movement. I've been against the micro ball movement that the Rockets had. I was okay with small ball, but Rockets said, fuck it, we're going extreme and going micro ball. And
I don't know, man. That's nuts. Who knew PJ Tucker could put the clamps on Anthony Davis?
You know what my biggest problem, and I wrote an article about it, my biggest problem with Anthony Davis, as talented as he is, he plays like a pussy. He plays like a fucking pussy. If he didn't play like a pussy, he would be so much better than he is. He would dominate. All he has to do, get in the paint and dunk over whoever the fuck is there. But then if Anthony Davis settles for jump shots, they're done. I think the Lakers are done. And part of the reason why I don't like Anthony Davis too is because he refuses to play the 5. He won't play the 5 because he doesn't like it.
Because he's too small. Not height-wise, obviously. He's 6'. No, what I'm saying he's too small in stature, like in frame. I know height-wise, yeah, but Anthony Davis is like small, like weight-wise for the position. If he put on 15, 20 pounds in the offseason and just sheer muscle and just get like ripped. Here's the thing. If he went on the Giannis workout program, Anthony Davis wins MVP.
No, listen. There's times when I see Anthony Davis have that aggression, and he's fucking unstoppable. Like, you can't stop him. He is so offensively gifted that if he would just play more aggressive, he would be better than he would be unstoppable. He'd be the number one guy for the Lakers, I think, if he played more aggressive. So it's just like
Anthony Davis. I know the different positions, but I'll explain why I think this. Anthony Davis kind of reminds me of Carmelo Anthony. And I'll say why. Carmelo Anthony he had the frame of a decent sized 4 and played the 3. He was athletic, yes. He had the jump shot, yes. But Carmelo Anthony had the weight to back down defenders back in the day in Denver.
I think if you take that old Denver or the Carmelo in Denver and put him into today's league, he's a 4. He is definitely a 4 because he fits that 4. But I think back then when the league was still running with 2 bigs at a time, I think it was right to be 3. But then he'd be that stretch 4.
But moreover than anything, no shade towards Carmelo Anthony. I'm stoked he's revitalized career in Portland. I wish he'd go east and not play in the West. I don't have to deal with him, but that's neither here nor there. He's just not a winner.
No.
Carmelo Anthony's not a winner.
He's not a winner as a number 1 guy.
And Anthony Davis, even though he's not the number 1 guy, he's just not a winner.
He's not. You can tell.
Because he, even in his New Orleans days, he was dubbed as one of the best players in the league. And he couldn't take them to the playoffs. He couldn't take them past the first round.
And
he just doesn't have that leadership instinct.
I think there's a lot of fans that don't understand that. I don't think they understand that there's winners. There's winners in this league, and there's not. To put it simply, there's people with Mamba mentality, and there's people that don't have it. I mean, Jimmy Butler has Mamba mentality. Doesn't care who the hell he has to go through. He's going to try to win. Giannis, I don't think he has it. And I'll get into that when we go back over there to the Eastern Conference, but I don't think he has it. Karl Anthony Towns, really good center, doesn't have it.
Karl Anthony Towns soft.
He's soft as hell.
He's been fucking around with them Jenner sisters all the time, just like Devin Booker. Devin Booker soft too.
I'm not gonna talk about Devin Booker because he's not in the playoffs. I don't mind Devin Booker. I don't. I think he's a hooper. I think he's been in a really bad situation.
I don't mind Devin Booker either. I definitely think if he was in a different situation, we'd see him blossom and reach his final form.
But he's only in like year 5. He's still like 23, which is fucking wild to me. He's younger than us, Garrett.
I'll talk about it.
If that means anything to you.
I don't want to talk about age.
But yeah, and so my biggest thing is like it's very weird watching. What the hell? It's very weird watching this Rockets team because Mike D'Antoni, he's openly said, I don't care if we lose the rebound battle. It's if they get their second chance points off the rebounds. And if they don't do that, then he's fine with losing the rebounding battle, which is wild to me because for so long the league's like, that's one of the indicators that you'll win a game is the rebound battle. But he's like, fuck the rebounds. Just make sure if we get if they get a rebound, they don't score, which is fine. So it works for them. The Rockets have a lot more spacing. I feel like PJ Tucker, I wouldn't say he has that much of an outside shot, but he loves the corner threes. If he has to shoot the outside shot, he's going to the corner 3. That opens up the floor for everyone. Covington plays the 4, I think. And so, I don't know. It works. It works for them. It's fucking wild, but it works.
I think I don't like the way the roster's set up.
I don't either.
I don't like the micro ball. I think they need a true 5. I liked Clint Capella. I liked him a lot. And they moved off of him. Whatever. Okay, I don't care. I don't think Mike D'Antoni's a good fit as a head coach for this team. I know he's literally building this team for Mike D'Antoni small ball and to push the pace and, the 8 seconds of doom or whatever like that. I don't believe in Mike D'Antoni as a coach to coach this team to a title. No, now, I don't believe in Russell Westbrook as a player who can lead a team to a title either. I think your cornerstone's James Harden. Yeah. Now, we may differ on, James Harden is a player. I don't necessarily like his gameplay either. You hate James Harden's play style.
I do.
You hate it.
I do.
But I think the easier person to move is Russell Westbrook. Oh, and I think when they lose this series, because the Rockets are not winning this series, I think when they lose the series, they'll understand that Russell, James Harden doesn't need a ball dominant counterpart like he's had with Chris Paul and he's had with Russell Westbrook. He needs players who don't need the ball, who can play defense, and he needs a coach who can coach the X's and O's.
He just needs honestly, you put 3-and-D people around James Harden, he's fine.
You know who the Rockets need?
Who?
Nate McMillan. Switch him out.
I don't hate
Switch him out. Don't send D'Antoni to Indiana. God, no. But put Nate McMillan in there. Let him build a team with bigs, with 3-and-D wings, and have James Harden literally hold the ball and work the offense around James Harden.
I don't hate it. I don't know, man. I'm still trying to figure it out. I knew the Rockets weren't going to win a title, at least when they got Russell Westbrook. I already knew. I think Mike D'Antoni's out if he doesn't win a title. I think Daryl Morey's out if they don't win a title. They traded their future away. They traded all these first-rounders for Russell Westbrook. And so the Thunder, matched up with them in the first round. So it's obvious that they won the trade because they still have a good team and they got the first-round picks for it too. So I don't know. I just knew this team wasn't going to win. Now, going back, I don't know, man. I may be biased, but I hate the Rockets too. But I don't want to say the Rockets will beat the Lakers, but I can see it. After watching Game 1, yes, the Blazers won Game 1 against the Lakers. But I felt like this Game 1 was different. For me, I don't know. And I hate both teams. So we can't even use that I hate LeBron and I hate the Lakers because I hate the Rockets and James Harden too. But I don't know, man. If the Rockets if their bench comes up, they play defense and they limit, and Anthony Davis plays like a pussy, I can see it. I can see the Rockets winning. I
don't know. I don't think LeBron – here's the thing. I don't think LeBron wins a title in L.A.
No,
I'll go on record and say that. During his entire tenure in L.A., I don't think LeBron will win a title. That includes this year, obviously. But I don't think the Lakers don't make it to a conference final. I just don't. I think somehow, some way, LeBron's going to will this team to a conference final, and whoever makes it out of the Clippers-Nuggets round will go and represent the West in the finals. We'll get into it. I don't want to talk about it yet. I'm emotional.
I don't know. I do, on record, in my article of the preview of the Lakers and Rockets, I have Lakers in 7. But I think this series goes to 7. I really do.
I think it at least goes 6. Yeah. Minimum, it goes 6.
I think minimum goes 6.
I think Houston at least wins one more.
I'm like 75% on 7 though. So, and just because I'm on record for the Lakers not winning or going to the finals, I would like them to lose this round. Of course, I'm rooting for the Rockets right now, but I hate the Rockets, and so I hope they win. If they do somehow beat the Lakers, I hope they win. All right, I hope they lose next round to the Clippers, because the Clippers are going to win against the Nuggets. Let's go ahead and get into that matchup, actually. The Nuggets and the Clippers. Garrett, do you have any thoughts you want to share before we I'm not gonna. That first game was rough.
Listen, I don't know, man. I think this series goes 6 games. And I think the Clippers win.
I don't even think this series goes 6 games.
I think Denver has too much talent. I think Jamal Murray is playing too well. And I think that we're just waiting for a performance from MPJ to finally come up again, because he played well in the seeding games.
That's another. What the fuck happened?
He played okay in Utah. He played okay during Utah series, but I
think he's still trying to figure out how to play next to Jamal Murray. I think
a big thing of it too is nobody expected Jamal Murray to go 50, 42, 50.
Yeah, I mean he came out of nowhere too. I mean he came in and he was like, okay, it's time to play.
Here's the thing: Jamal Murray found out that he could have his girlfriend in the bubble, and he was like, "Fuck, hold my beer, bro."
You beat me to it. Hey, all I'm gonna say is Jamal Murray hasn't played sloppy since he got sloppy. So I mean, like, you know, am I wrong? Like, no cap. She's fun as hell. I don't. So I'm like,
here.
Like,
if I have to give my official prediction on who is going to be in the conference finals in the Western Conference, it's going. I don't want to say it.
But Garrett, I will tell you right now, I don't think this series goes past 5 games, and that may rub you the wrong way, but I think
it does 100%. It really does. It really does. It makes me mad. But this series goes 6 or 7, which
if they play like the first game, no, it does not. If they play the first game.
I genuinely feel like that first game was an anomaly.
I don't know.
No, listen. Here's the thing. They just came off of such an emotional roller coaster, having to come back 3-1.
They're drained. Recover. There's no time to recover.
There is no time to recover. That's what I'm saying. They will gain that confidence back.
After
they have to adjust. They had 1 day to prepare for the Clippers game. Whereas the Clippers had, 5 or 6 days to prepare for either Utah or Denver. The series goes 6 games.
We knew the Clippers were going to go to the conference finals.
I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
I picked Denver in 7.
You picked Denver in 7 because, Garrett, I don't know if you know.
No.
I don't know if you know, but you're a little biased. You're a little biased.
It's not true.
Okay. Well.
It's not true. That's why up there I put ... 7 ... question mark because
you're not biased at all. Because you're not biased at all.
No, I put the question mark because I'm not sure. I'm open and saying I don't know.
Okay.
Listen, you want me to say it?
Yeah.
The Clippers win in 6 games. I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone.
Right.
Don't talk to me or my son ever again.
I'm gonna go Clippers in 5. I'll go Clippers in 5. I'll give the Nuggets 1 game. I almost said Clippers in 4. But
I would have got off this podcast right now. I would have hung up this call, and you would have had to make something do with this podcast.
I would have talked about it. I could listen to myself talk. It's okay, but
it would have been clickbait.
Now,
leaves podcast.
I just want you to know that. I mean, even though the Nuggets did come back from 3-1, it was almost Jazz in 5. So I think the Clippers can definitely do in 5, but neither here nor there.
Denver is a 2 guard away from winning a title.
Okay. No,
are they not? Listen to this. I don't necessarily want either one of these players because I think it would be too much to trade for them. Unless Denver's in a win now mode. In that case, whatever. If you put Jrue Holiday or Bradley Beal on this Denver Nuggets roster, they're in the NBA Finals.
Maybe. I could see it. I don't know.
Bradley Beal more so than Jrue Holiday because Bradley Beal's got a longer contract and Jrue Holiday's older and he's on a 1-year deal left. Or he's got 1 year left on his deal, rather.
I think you guys are so young. Y'all just need to be patient. I know you're anxious for the Nuggets to win. And I would be too. But I think the best is to be patient. This year, I think, belongs to Golden State and the Nets, no doubt. But I think, well, maybe not Golden State. I'm I'm leaning towards Golden State and the Nets, but next year, Paul Millsap should be gone. You guys should have a lot more money freed up on your books, and I think the Nuggets need to do some heavy spending too. And that also gives MPJ, Jamal Murray, and Jokic a whole year to play with each other, and you're adding another guy to that. I think you guys are sitting pretty. So I wouldn't say this next year, but I would say the year after.
Michael Porter Jr. has to start opening night next year, and he needs to be the starter at the 3 or the 4, preferably at the 3.
Yeah,
because I think he's undersized weight wise to play the 4, and I think he's too athletic. But he needs to play every single night.
Yeah, no doubt. And like I said, he just now came back from injury this year, and he's already impressing. So, like I said, this next year it's going to be tough. I think the year after, that offseason's crazy. You don't know what the fuck's going to happen. And Denver's going to make their move and go win now with that young dynasty they got going on. So I think not this year, but next year the Nuggets will look a lot better. Let's go into surprising to most, but not to me, the series of the Bucks and the Heat. I hate to say it.
Don't you sit here and say you were gonna have the Bucks like the Heat in 5 or something like that.
No, I did say Heat in 7. I did say Heat in 7.
Both of us picked Heat in 7.
Oh, okay. Well, I just remember a podcast.
It's not surprising to me either.
I remember a podcast episode.
I said the Bucks were gonna be in the finals. Yes, I know.
I said the Bucks aren't even making the finals. Everything I'm saying is coming because I looked at their roster last year, and I looked at the roster this year, and the roster was so much better last year. So I just never saw the hype that, the Bucks are going to make the finals this year. It just never made sense to me. I'm going to throw a wild curveball at you. You tell me how you think. As naturally gifted, not naturally, I'm sorry, athletically gifted as Giannis is. I know, sound it out. I don't think he has a very high basketball IQ. I really don't. I think it's impressive that he plays as well as he does without that high basketball IQ, but I don't think he has that high basketball IQ to really take the Bucks to the next step. I
don't necessarily know that that's it per se. I feel like here's the thing. I feel like most 95% of players in the NBA have so how on 2K ratings and stuff like that they'll give you A through F.
You're using 2K?
No. I'm using this as an example.
Okay.
You rate your stuff A through F, right? I feel like 95% of players in the NBA have to have a basketball IQ of at least B. The anomaly is J.R. Smith and people like that. But I feel like he's at least at a B to a B minus or so. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he needs his guys to be doing. I think what he lacks, and you mentioned earlier, I think he lacks that killer instinct. I think he lacks the quote-unquote Mamba mentality to say, you know what, this is my game, this is my series, I need to step up and take over, and I need to drop 50. Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray are starting to show, their chakra is starting to show a little bit, right? They're starting to show a little bit of Mamba mentality. But a guy like Giannis doesn't, or at least he's not showing it yet. He may develop it because he's a younger guy as well. So we're not saying that he can't develop it in the future, but he just doesn't have it now.
I don't know, man. I watch Giannis play, and sometimes he does a lot of things that, why didn't he do that instead of this? I think he's practically unstoppable to the point where he can just go in the paint and he either gets a bucket or if AD played like Giannis, AD would be 10 times better than Anthony Davis or Giannis. Dead ass. But Giannis just goes in. I mean, I don't think Giannis has that much of a jump shot. I think he knows how to use his body really well.
He's working on it, though.
He is working on it. But, I started questioning basketball IQ when he was when they're like, do you think you should guard Jimmy Butler? And he was like, no. And I just never understood why not.
I saw that. I saw that, and I was like, this is y'all's defensive player of the year?
Yeah, and I was like, I'm starting to question, hey, obviously Jimmy Butler's, the Heat's probably most night in, night out scorer.
Yeah, their most prolific scorer.
Prolific, yeah. So I'm like, why wouldn't you, as Defensive Player of the Year, voted by, the media, whatever, wouldn't you want to go guard that?
And I think that shows back to
Mamba mentality, right? It's not there. But I also think that's an IQ thing. I mean, I just don't see how, as a defensive guy, that, I mean, like I said, I think he's athletically gifted to where he's naturally going to be a defensive guy because he'll go up for any layup or dunk that someone goes. He'll go try to block it. He's been dunked on many times, and I have always respected him for trying to go. He's naturally tall. He's naturally long. I think he's naturally going to be a good defensive guy, but I don't see the IQ. I think he makes some bonehead plays sometimes.
I mean, I don't know. I disagree on the IQ thing. And, I think he does show a level of IQ because when he got asked that question, he said, I'm going to do what Coach needs me to do. And it's he's, team player, and he understands that he has to listen and stuff like that. I genuinely do think it's all mindset. I think it's just a mindset thing with him.
I don't know. And I could be wrong. I very well could be wrong. It's just something that that's one of my theories I'm leaning towards right now but hey, enough about the Bucks. Let's talk about this motherfucking Heat, bro.
I was going to say, I do think that most of this credit goes to the Miami Heat, honestly, because they're playing out of this world right now.
Heat, bro. And you know what? I admitted it before, and I'll eat my humble pie. Eric Spoelstra was a fluke because, he coached LeBron, and I thought LeBron ran that team. No, Eric Spoelstra, another top 10 NBA coach guy, maybe even top 5. I mean, the guy can coach. The guy's fucking awesome. I mean, and there's that Miami Heat team is really good. Don't quote me on this, but dark horse to go to the finals. I feel like
with the way they're playing right now, yes. I think both of us had the winner of the Boston-Toronto series in the finals, and I think that we had that series going like 5 games or something. We thought that Boston or Toronto was going to be just out of this world good. But listen, if Miami continues this play, that series, whoever they're going to face, Boston, is going to go 7 games. And they, like you said, they very well could make a run at a final appearance.
I will tell you right now, I think if it's Heat and the Raptors, I think the Heat go to the finals.
Yes.
Honestly.
And Toronto's not making it out of that round, though. But
I think right now it's Celtics, Heat, Raptors. That's what I have right now.
And Bucks at the bottom. Yeah, Bucks are definitely the 4 right now.
But I knew that.
Listen, I'm going to keep it a buck with you.
Go ahead.
Milwaukee's getting swept.
Dead ass? Probably.
Milwaukee's getting swept. And a hot take here, Giannis is demanding a trade in the offseason. I don't think he waits another year for one more year in Milwaukee. I think he realizes – and the thing is it's not even a support thing because Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez this round at least. Long term, yes, he doesn't have a ton of support. But this round, Chris Middleton's playing really well. Brook Lopez is playing above where we expect him to. So he has a little bit of support this round. But if they get swept, at minimum, they fire Mike Budenholzer. Mike Budenholzer loses his job this offseason.
This offseason?
Yes. This offseason, Mike Budenholzer loses his job. And then Giannis basically – so the front office will give Giannis the opportunity to pick his head coach. He'll say, you know what? We want you to be here. Pick a coach that you want to play under. And then they go spend $10, $12, $15 million a year on the coach that he desires. Greg Popovich instantly comes to mind. I think, and that hurts your heart. I know it does. But I genuinely think Greg Popovich would be a superb fit in Milwaukee.
You know what's also good though? The only problem I have in your theory is yes, I mean people did it with Kawhi. Paul George was a thing too. But 1 year, it's like a 1 year rental, right? Mm-hmm. So. Because you don't know if they're going to guarantee to re-sign.
But if he goes to a place like Golden State, they'll sign an extension.
I I hate the Golden State idea because I don't see what the Warriors could trade for the Bucks to accept without the Warriors giving up too much. They would have to give up Clay. They would have to give up Clay for one, and I already know Golden State does not want to do it. I think they do.
I think
Wiggins. Are you serious? Wiggins and Draymond just not get it done.
No. Wiggins and that second overall pick, and then a future first, and then like key pieces like Eric Paschall and players like that. Eric Paschall, nice player.
Yeah, I'm not taking.
I might be butchering his last name, but I don't know. I think
I'm not taking that.
I think there's trades available to be made. There's no way Golden State moves out of Klay Thompson. There's no way.
I'd offer if I was Milwaukee, I'd say Klay Thompson or nobody. Like it's not gonna happen. I would demand Klay Thompson. If it wasn't Klay Thompson and a second round pick, don't want it. I mean but I think Giannis is a top 4 player in the world. So I mean that's what you're giving up for top 4 player. In return, you get Steph Curry and you get Giannis. Playing side by side.
I'd rather have Steph and Klay Thompson.
But I mean, that's an opinion thing, though. Like, people are gonna have their preferences.
Well, I'm not saying that I want Giannis to go to Golden State. God, I obviously don't want that. But like, he doesn't fit in that offense. He doesn't fit with that team, like what Steve Kerr's trying to do. But I think the appeal for Golden State is to go west, the sunshine, the new arena, play for Steve Kerr, and play for a super team. Because he saw Kevin Durant do it. Now, he pussied out of Oklahoma City and went to go get a ring. And I think that's what Giannis is going to go do, and he's going to tarnish his legacy that way.
I think I would like to see Giannis in a Raptors jersey. Hell, ooh, real quick. No, real quick.
No, you go, then I go.
Throwback Raptors jerseys with Giannis on it. Those, oof, man.
Listen, you can put anybody in those throwback Raptors jerseys, and I want one.
That's true. I give you that. I think the Heat have enough contracts, and I mean they have so many pieces that they could be a really good trade destination for the Heat. I don't like Heat fans because I figured out they're toxic as hell, and anytime they beat anyone, they're like, oh, they do the Photoshop and put that player in a Heat jersey. Like you know how many times I've seen it, like even Steph Curry in a Heat jersey. Like it's just fucking no. So, this is what I think happens. And okay, maybe not think. I hope this happens. I hope Giannis stays another year, and I hope he has a chance to pick where he wants to go. You mentioned okay, I have to do it here. I'm sorry, I can't resist. You talked about Greg Popovich. Okay, you opened the door. I wasn't gonna do it. You opened the door. If Giannis wants to play for Greg Popovich, or vice versa. If DeMar DeRozan opts in, LaMarcus Aldridge's contract expires next year. Both of those, that's already $45 million, at least, maybe $50 million that they can sign Giannis to. That's all I'm gonna say. If the interest between the two is there, but I think like I said, I think the Spurs, if they're gonna be in this ranking, they're like 7. They're down there. So I'm just saying it's possible, but. You're not feeling my. You're not.
Not even a little. Not even a little. Giannis is going to leave in free agency, and he's going to a big city where he can attract other superstars. And that's not to say that
we have Taco Cabana. There's other. Ain't nobody else get
listen,
that.
That's facts. Fair enough. Sign me up. I want a 4-year deal.
Right.
Giannis is going to go to one of 3 places. I think. In free agency, I genuinely think his number one destination that he might end up is the Knicks. And I think this
because the Knicks, but he can't go to San Antonio.
No. Yeah, because you mean to tell me you want to go play in New York or San Antonio, Texas? I'm going to go play in New York.
If you play in New York, you're playing for Brooklyn right now. Who wants to go to the Knicks right now? Honestly,
I will explain why. Before I was so rudely interrupted.
If he doesn't have Mamba mentality, he's not going to change the Knicks around.
Listen. As bad as this team is right now, the New York Knicks in like a season's time now, not this offseason, but next offseason, are incredibly intriguing. Built around a team with R.J. Barrett, who will be going into his third year, who should develop into a budding, I won't say superstar, but like at least an all-star, perennial all-star, hopefully, is what the Knicks are hoping. The biggest thing, though, is the cap space. The Knicks planned this accordingly to where they signed 1-and-1s or just straight 2-year deals. The 2-year deals expire. You cancel out or you decline the team option going into that second offseason. You have enough for 2 max players, plus you have R.J. Barrett, plus you have these guys. When you're bad so far, you're going to get better draft picks. So you're going to have younger guys to play with R.J. Barrett, and you're going to have 2 maxes in 2 years. So you're going to have Giannis, and you go to Giannis and say, you know what? Who do you want to play with in New York? So let's say he brings in I don't have the list off the top of my head, but let's say he brings in a big-time point guard. So you have a big one, R.J. Barrett, and you have Giannis, and then other young pieces with him. And then you go to Giannis and say, you know what? You bring in your coach that you want. You let him choose the head coach. That it makes sense. It makes sense to me. I feel like.
But that's a lot of ifs. That's a lot of ifs. That's the only thing I don't like.
Oh, well, I know that's what you don't like because you've said it before. But like I don't know. It's very intriguing.
Well, and the Knicks are always going to be attractive because the Knicks have that.
Because they play because you get to play at the Garden.
You play at the Garden. The
You're
Knicks
in
have
New York.
that.
You're in a mecca.
Yeah.
That's why. So I genuinely do think that the Knicks. Before.
Well, I was like, before I go into other things or the other Giannis destinations, I want to hear your other two. But go ahead and finish your thought.
I genuinely think the Miami Heat are a viable destination for Giannis.
I can see that.
Especially because he's about to get swept by the Miami Heat. He's like, holy shit, I want to go play with those guys. They have the perfect recipe to beat me. I want to go play with him.
And the best part, though, and don't misquote me, but Giannis, when who was it? Was it Richard Jefferson or Jay Williams? Whoever. Said,
Richard Jefferson.
He said,
I know what you're talking about.
He said Giannis was a Scottie Pippen. I didn't disagree. People thought he was crazy, but I agree. And I knew exactly what he meant. He doesn't – like, the whole thing was Scottie. Scottie was a hell of a player, right? But in that year and a half that MJ wasn't there, he was not that guy. He's a hell of a player, hell of a fucking player. And that goes back into winners and, you know, there's people that will themselves to win, and there's people that are really good players that win because they're really good. And there is a difference. And mindset, you were talking about earlier, mindset is everything. So he is a Scottie Pippen, and he's not wrong. I don't hate that take. I don't. I think he's the best Scottie Pippen there will ever be. But he's a
better Scottie Pippen than Scottie Pippen.
There you go. He's the new Giannis.
I can already see the look on your face when I say this because of a conversation that you and I just had like 5 minutes ago on this podcast.
Okay.
But I have a sleeper destination as a third team for Giannis. Just picture the international takeover of Giannis.
Oh my fucking God. That would be wild.
If Giannis goes to Dallas and plays with Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, it's an international takeover. And that team...
They fit so well.
Three-peats. They literally win as many championships as they want to. That's what I'll say. If they want to win 8 in a row, that team wins 8 in a row.
And it fits too, because Kristaps Porzingis is not. He's not like that. He's not one of those guys that he's a really tall stretch four.
He's a stretch four, exactly.
And then Giannis, fuck.
I'm telling you, that is a sneaky team because they got big contracts. They got the Tim Hardaway contract, right?
Oh,
they can move off of that. They got Kristaps. They have Kristaps' contract, yes, but you renegotiate that contract. Luka's still on his rookie deal. He's going into the last deal, which makes the cap situation mad tight in the future. I don't know, bro. That is a sneaky team. If I'm Giannis, if I'm any free agent in general, I'm looking at Dallas really hard. But if I'm Giannis, bro.
And they're all like under 26. That's the worst part. And they're
dude.
like, and bro, I'm telling you, that's like dynasty for years.
If they make the cap, if they make numbers work, it's an international takeover.
Oh,
and they got the perfect guy at head coach, Rick Carlisle, because Rick Carlisle is a hell of a coach.
Top 10 coach right there.
I feel like you and I sing Rick Carlisle's praises every single time on this podcast.
Oh, he deserves it, man. He never gets it.
I'm telling you, dude. Keep an eye on Dallas in the Giannis sweepstakes.
You know what's the best part? They don't need a bench. They don't need a bench. They don't at all.
Because you have 3 superstars.
But even after that, people would sign in Dallas on
minimums, like the vet minimums, yeah.
Just because they want to win a title.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, bro, fucking A. Okay. I'm gonna sleep on that.
Dallas has a proven track record to draft okay. They're not great. They're no San Antonio or Denver or places like that. But they're not a slouch when it comes to drafting.
Fuck, man.
Keep an eye on it.
I'm gonna have to sleep on that.
I was thinking about it.
I need a whole year to process that because, man, I can't hate it though. I mean, I feel like that's a lot better than Golden State or the Heat.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a lot better. I would not hate that.
The only downside to, or a potential deterrent, I'll say, to Giannis going to Dallas is a much harder road to a finals appearance. Because you'll have in 3 years, LeBron is still kicking, and you can never count him out. You've got the Warriors, right? You've got Denver, right? Oklahoma City is going to be really good. Utah, if they continue to develop, is still a tough out. You've got those teams, whereas out west, there's if you go to Miami, your only real competition.
Out east.
Did I say west?
Yeah, you said west.
Out east, rather.
West? I thought you said west.
Out east, your only real competition is Toronto and Boston. Because there's not a lot of teams – and Brooklyn, obviously. So you have 3 teams instead of, 6 out west.
Okay. I don't know.
That's the only deterrent to playing in the Western Conference right now is there's just so many teams that are outstanding.
On something that's not Giannis related, I actually like the Pistons a lot. I think their cap situation could be really good if they sign all 1-year deals this offseason. I think they have the most money. The only problem with the Pistons is who wants to play in Detroit over other places. But I think the Pistons could make a really good roster given their cap situation. They'll still have Luke Kennard and Sioku or whatever the fuck. So that's completely unrelated. Those are one of the other teams that
that's definitely intriguing.
Next offseason, they could make a huge...
Especially if they move off of Blake Griffin's contract.
Yeah, well, I think it expires next year.
Does it? Oh, yeah, he is a part of that free agent list.
It's either next year or the year after. But they'll have... If it's the year after, then they need to trade him for anything. Trade him, second-round pick and contracts to make it work. But expiring, whatever you could do. Send a first for it because you won't need it if you can make that splash in that free agency. We kind of got off topic because we were off topic, but Giannis is Giannis. Let's go to the second Eastern Conference matchup, and that's the Celtics and the Raptors. I'm kind of disappointed. I thought Siakam would be better, and he hasn't. And he's actually been this kind of lackluster this whole playoffs.
Nick Nurse through Game 3. Or no, I'm sorry. No. Brad Stevens, rather. Brad Stevens through Game 3.
You think?
Why on earth, on the last possession of the game, are you playing zone defense?
I feel like
if you play man defense and switch everything, Boston's up 3-0 right now.
I think the problem was I blame more Jaylen Brown than Brad Stevens. I think Jaylen Brown he didn't know where to go. And I don't know how you are about him, but I can't remember. But I've always been a big OG guy. I've always liked Anunoby. I always liked him. So I knew, and he's been pretty prevalent in this series so far. So I was always big on OG, and I felt like Jaylen Brown fucked up leaving him open. You have 0.5 seconds, so.
Prevalent?
Words.
Prevalent. Are you looking for prevalent?
Yeah, that one. That's
okay. I was sitting here. I was sitting here and just like prevalent.
This is why I don't say big words. That's why my vocabulary just consists of fuck, shit, bitch, like fucking A, like that's my vocabulary because I can say those words. But
you know what they mean, but
I know
prevalent.
What they mean. Yeah, fuck. So
that wasn't meant to throw shade at you or anything, but I was genuinely confused. No, I was trying to process it.
I mean, any correction's a good correction for me because Lord knows I can't say words right.
This man's a teacher. Hey, he's teaching your youth. No, I'm just
kidding. But yeah, so what was I saying? Oh, but I feel like Jaylen Brown fucked out more than anything for me. But I don't know. It's give or take. They lost, and they shouldn't have lost. I thought the game was lost.
We can agree on that.
I thought the game was over as soon as Tice, whatever.
Daniel Tice? I think it's Tice.
I don't fucking know.
That age might be silent.
I don't know.
That man is silent in general because no one ever heard of him until Game 4 or until Game 3 right now.
No, I heard of him. He was really making his mark in February. I felt like he was because before that it was like in his canter. And then he kind of like took over that role. So I don't know. I think should the Celtics be scared of any momentum that the Raptors got from that?
No.
Because I mean, shots like that take a lot out of you. So
yeah, because Boston's just too talented.
I agree. I think their top five is better than any top five in the NBA. Their top five players. I like their starting five.
Like their starting five. Yeah.
No,
I think that this team just has too much talent. I think they're too well coached. I think this is a very good coaching matchup because Nick Nurse has proved this year that he wasn't a one-and-done coach like Ty Lue was. Mm-hmm. He had Kawhi, and everyone thought, Nick Nurse is great, but let's see how he actually coaches. And he proved this year that man can coach. Nick Nurse is no one to sleep on. So it's a good coaching matchup as well.
But I thought there was a button there, but I have a but.
No, there is. There is, but he is getting outcoached so far because Brad Stevens is a proven coach. He's proven this through his tenure so far.
I've talked about it. I don't think he's getting outcoached. I think he's doing as good a job as he can. My biggest knock on the Raptors was after Kawhi left, they didn't have that go-to guy. You need the go-to guys. You need someone to put their ball. I mean, and who's the go-to guy? I mean, you could say Kyle Lowry, Van Vliet, Siakam, but there's so many other go-to guys that I would rather have. I mean, they're no Kawhi, and that's the easiest way to put it. They're no Kawhi, and so that was my biggest knock on the Raptors, and that's why I eventually picked the Celtics over the Raptors, is because I knew in the close games that the Raptors don't have that fearless guy that says, I will take the shot. I don't care. I will take the shot. Now, good play design or, massive collapse on the Celtics part for Game 3, game winner. But I don't think they have that guy. I think the Celtics had at least two of them. So that was my whole thing. So I think I picked this game and I picked this series in 7. It's looking more towards 6. I think there's a chance the Raptors could win one more, but I don't know.
I could see it. I think they do win. Well, dude, I don't know, man.
It depends. It just really do. It's a good matchup. It really. I
think it goes. So they're up 2-1 now. I think Boston wins to go up 3-1. Toronto fights off elimination to go 3-2, and then Boston wins 4-2. I think the series ends at 6.
That sounds about right. I can't see the Raptors taking any type of lead, so I can't even see them tying it up right now. So if they tie it up, that's a whole different story, and but I just don't see it. So we picked all matchups. So we think, as much as it pains me to say it, I think the Lakers win and against Houston. Even it pains you to say that the Clippers are going to win against the Nuggets. So we have the Lakers and the Clippers, and then we have the Celtics and the Heat.
Yep.
I'm sticking with the Celtics. I said this the first time we went over it. I'm going to stick with the Celtics and the Clippers, and I'm taking Clippers Game 7. I think the Clippers can beat the Lakers in 6 games.
6.
I'm saying 6. I think it's 6 games. I think Celtics and Heat go 7. I think Erik Spoelstra is just too good of a coach to not find a way.
I think Miami and Boston go 6.
And you're taking Celtics?
Yeah, I'm taking Celtics at 6. But if Miami sweeps, which we both think they will, it could prove formidable. Very formidable opponent. It could go 7. My official pick is 6, but I would not be surprised in the slightest bit if it went 7 games.
If the Heat win in 5 games, and that's not even if they sweep in 5 games, and you know what, they're rooting for the Raptors. For one, they want the Raptors to win because they can beat the Raptors better than the Celtics. 2, the longer the Celtics play, more tired you get, and you know what, that fatigue kills you in the end.
That's proven in the Denver Clippers series. Is you need that rest.
Yeah.
If Denver had rest, it's a different ball game. But no, I'm not going to get into it. Chill out. But if with rest, Denver would have played a little bit better. But the same thing, like you said, Miami's rooting for Toronto to push this series to 7 games because then Boston's going to have 1 day off going into a conference final.
Yep. And you know what? As good as the Celtics are and the coaches, that just helps the Heat's chances. I think that's it. Can we? Oh, one thing, couple things. They're announcing the awards for the NBA, and this will probably be the last thing we got. But Montrezl Harrell, 6th man of the year. That was surprising because I don't even think he's the 6th man on that team. I think it's still Lou Will.
That's true. He's not the best 6th man on his team, but wins 6th man of the year. Weird.
Whoever voted against Ja Morant for Rookie of the Year, your mom's a hoe.
Whoever voted against Ja Morant for Rookie of the Year deserves to have their vote taken away.
Exactly. I mean, you should not be able to vote ever again. It was a landslide. There was no reason.
There was no debate for Zion to win Rookie of the Year. There was none.
Defensive Player of the Year. It's a regular season award. So I don't know. There was too much debate. I feel like 2 players were deserving. I won't say there should have been a co-defensive player of the year, but I feel like Anthony Davis or Giannis, there shouldn't have been that much debate. I feel like they both could have won it in their own right.
I definitely don't think there should have been co-defensive player of the year. That just seems like the wrong award to put a co-stamp on and have 2 players win it. Yeah. I also think defensive player of the year, much like 6th man of the year, is very subjective.
To big players.
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, God, I'm gonna hate myself for saying this, but Marcus Smart was a hell of a defensive player this year.
And you know who else was a hell of a defensive player as well?
Who?
Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah.
Or what about Jared Allen?
Yeah.
Guys like that aren't going to get votes because they're not prominent on their team. But yes, like what you said, Marcus Smart's a hell of a defender.
Yeah.
And he should have been getting some love for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. So it's
very subjective.
It is.
It's an eye test, really.
And like I said, I felt like both players deserved it in their own right. So I didn't really hate whoever, but people are getting whole ass pissed about it. Now it makes me, and there's been rumblings, and I swear to God, but I need to remind everyone that MVP is a regular season award.
Yeah.
Okay. In the regular season, Giannis he deserved MVP the most.
Correct.
In the playoffs, whole different story because obviously he hasn't played but even in the playoffs, my whole thing about most valuable player is the word valuable. And we've seen even with Giannis, the Bucks aren't playing that well. You take Giannis off the Bucks, they play even worse. So my whole thing is he's obviously probably the most valuable player to the Bucks. I mean, and so if you put him on any team for that year, I think they do a lot better. If they take him off, then I don't know.
I think they need to split the award and have a regular season MVP and a postseason MVP.
Because, the finals MVP is just the final series.
I think they should have always had that. Baseball has that, where they have regular season MVPs, postseason MVPs, and a World Series MVP. That makes the most sense to me, where you break it down and say that. So, because they had a bubble MVP. So regular season is Giannis. Well,
this is an unprecedented year, Gary. We've never had.
No. I'm saying, but like this could be used going forward. We could break this up to different things. So Giannis wins regular season MVP. The bubble MVP was Lillard.
It was Dame.
Right. I couldn't remember if it was him or Booker, but they should have been co-bubble MVPs, which is a weird statement to say. He won't get any recognition because his team lost in the first round, but Luka should be getting some votes for some sort of postseason MVP. A guy like Jamal Murray should be getting some sort of vote for MVP, not to win it, but he should be getting some votes. They should have a postseason MVP and a finals MVP. This
postseason MVP.
It's too early. We can't tell yet. But those are your leaders in the clubhouse, I think.
I don't think it's anyone from the Celtics. I don't think it's anyone from the Raptors. I would say Kawhi has a case, and I think LeBron has a case. But
those are the only two players. Okay, listen. If the Mavericks beat the Clippers, Luka's the MVP, and there's no question about it.
Okay.
There's no question. And the only reason I bring up Jamal Murray is because he had those games where he put the team on his back to get him out of the deficit. That's the only reason I said that, because you brought up the word valuable. If you take Jamal Murray off that Nuggets team, they probably lose in 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
Kind of like a lot of us kind of thought they were going to when they went down 3-1. But I think it's too early to tell. But I do think those leaders in the clubhouse are Kawhi, LeBron, and Luka's got to get some sort of vote, even though his team lost in the first round.
Okay, I can dig
and then have a Finals MVP.
Coach of the Year was Nick Nurse, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. Shouldn't have been any other way. So, have they announced anything else?
I think we're just waiting on MVP.
Cool. They should announce that pretty soon, I think. I don't know when, but I'm sure if it's not Giannis, I will definitely have a 20-minute rant ready.
Well, hey, how about this? If Giannis doesn't win MVP, we're gonna have an emergency podcast. To rant on how somebody voted Giannis not to win MVP.
Yeah, I mean, and that many people not to vote Giannis. I guess it's story time, isn't it, Garrett?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I just thought of a story. Not thought of, but I just remembered a story. This is a short story, so it won't be that long. But I was a kid. I want to say it was about 3 or 4, and I was at my grandma's house. And I was, doing 3 or 4 year old. What we do, we taking baths out here, right? We chilling. I got my rubber duckies, got my toys. We doing the thing out here, right? And I was very prone to hearing ice cream trucks. And so I heard the ice cream music, right? And when you're 3 or 4, you don't care about your shame or anything. You're hearing ice cream. And so my dad's on the couch, right? I think I'm upstairs. My mom's, I think she's helping my mom, or my grandma, her mom. She had, Lou Gehrig's disease. So she's helping her, with that. And I hear the ice cream music, so I'm like, bet, ice cream time. So my ass just runs butt-ass naked down the stairs, out front door. My dad, before he even could blink. And my dad sits in one spot and watches TV. Like that is my dad. So I run out the front door, right? My dad's like looking, he's like thinking, he's like, who just went out? And so by that time, I'm running after the ice cream truck. My mom's yelling at my dad because she realized that I just ran out. And my dad and so I'm outside with the ice cream truck. I catch up to the ice cream, and I'm butt-ass naked, right? And there was like, okay, we can get you some ice cream, but you're going to have to come inside. And I was like, nope, I'm not leaving until I get some ice cream. There I am.
The best part is, too, is you ran out naked, and then the ice cream guy goes, you need to go inside. You didn't have any money either.
No, I didn't have money. I just wanted ice cream, man. That's why. So, and you know what it's a bad joke, but Gary, I mean, it's like an ice cream truck, and you know how like some pedophiles are like ice cream, oh my God, that could have been bad.
It could have been so bad.
Yeah, so I'm out there butt-ass naked. I'm like, I'm not leaving without ice cream. So there I am, butt-ass naked. I took a stand, and you know how stubborn I am. I took a stand, and I didn't leave until I got my ice cream. And so my parents had to run it back inside, go get money so I could have some ice cream. But yeah, I just ran out butt-ass naked. I didn't care about my Tic Tac hanging out or anything. I was going.
Man wanted ice cream.
I heard. You know what? You know what's wild? You got to hear the ice cream music, or the ice cream truck music outside the window, right? Upstairs. I'm upstairs, by the way, and like I don't know how I knew that. My initial thought was, oh, the ice cream truck here. Maybe I should put some clothes. I was like, nope, we get an ice cream today, right now. I was not missing my chance. So that's my short little story. Is that I, 3 or 4 years old, no shame, went and got my ice cream, butt ass naked. Did not matter to me.
Incredible.
So
I got a question for you.
The ice cream was probably good as hell too. No cap.
I got 2 questions for you.
What?
One. So you shot up out of the bathtub, right? And you literally just ran, like full steam ahead.
Full send.
How did you not fall when you got out of the bathtub?
And that's why I don't think the way they told me is like I don't think I shot up, but I got out. I got out and I was going. I think I got out of the bath. Obviously, I got off the bathtub and out of the bathroom safely because bathrooms usually have tile. But I think the rest of the house was carpet. And then you get to the carpet, you get to the concrete. I'm not slipping then.
I was more concerned about you slipping in the bathroom on that tile.
Yeah, no, I think I was smart enough, hopefully, to not slip. I guess I went slow and then I got to the carpet and I ran. I was gone.
Then second question, did you take the ice cream back to your bath and sit in the bath?
No, I think I ate it before I got back to the bath.
Damn.
I think I don't think
you had been living a luxurious life and you took that ice cream, went back into the bathtub.
Just like ice cream is like right here. This is the life. So yeah.
King shit. That's king shit.
And then my dad got in trouble because obviously I ran out the door and he was like, damn. Like he gone.
I'm sure this was your dad. Hold on. I'm gonna take off my headset so I can move my head around.
Okay.
This was your dad. For preface, for anybody who doesn't know Alex Sr. like this, he will sit in his chair and watch his TV, and that's it. That's all this man does, right? This is him sitting in his chair, takes his little head off his thing. I don't know if he was doing it then, obviously.
No, he was. I think he was smoking then. I don't know, but.
Sitting there. Here goes Alex. Phew.
And then my mom comes in and she's like, did the front door just open? He's like, yeah, I think so. Right. So that's definitely my dad. I think that's gonna do it for this episode. We are with Vendetta Sports Media. Please check out the website. There's a bunch of good articles that I mentioned that I wrote. There's other articles for all sports, but full swing into NBA right now. If you're a big NFL guy, NFL season starts next week. Can't wait. There's going to be a whole bunch of articles on that too. So, but and Garrett, do you have anything else for the people?
2 things.
All right.
Nuggets in 7.
Oh my God.
And I'm winning 2 fantasy leagues this year. I'm winning my work one, and I'm winning this one with Alex.
I don't think I don't.
And I'm gonna leave it on a big old yer.
My team's cracked.
Yer.
This just came to me, but Black Lives Matter, man, because like this shit's stupid. If y'all are not on that move already, that's the move. And it's one of those things that if you're not on that move, you're wrong. And
if you ain't with it, you're against it. And you need to be with it because it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, so I was all for the protests and everything.
2 things. 2 more things.
Dang.
Black lives will always matter, and wear your fucking mask.
Yeah, wear your mask, please. Holy shit, I'm getting tired of this damn thing. It's
I want this shit to end so I can go to Pepsi Center and watch the Nuggets play playoff games. So wear your goddamn mask.
It's annoying, but it's like one of those things that if you do it, it'll benefit you in the future.
It's not an inconvenience. I am an unessential worker, so I wear my mask 8 to 9 hours a day, 5 days a week for 40 to 45 hours. I'm running around talking all day long wearing my fucking mask. You mean to tell me you can't wear your mask for 25 minutes when you go to fucking Costco or something? Get over yourself and wear your goddamn mask.
Just wear the mask. Wear the mask. Black lives will always matter. And that's pretty much all we got. If that was a sponsor, that would be our sponsor. So until next time, we're hoping next week because I think both of us can do one next week. So hopefully we can do that next week. And then that hopefully one second round matchup will be done, and that's the Heat and the Bucks.
Yeah, the Heat and the Bucks will be over this time next Saturday when we record again.
And then we'll probably review some of the, I don't think any other one will be done. Maybe the Clippers one. But anyway, but we'll go into more of the matchups the rest of the time. That's gonna be it for it though. This is Chicks Tape Pod. Garrett just said we'll see y'all next time.